In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do your makeup for a job interview. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah. If you're new here, I upload beauty videos every Monday and Friday. Feel free to stick around and subscribe. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I got this video idea from a family friend, so thank you for that. I'm very appreciative. If you have any video ideas or videos that you would like for me to do, please let me know in the comments down below. Before we get into the makeup look where I show you how I created this natural makeup look, the first thing that I kind of want to address is your outfit for your interview. So personally, obviously it depends on where your interview is, but at least for the jobs that I've interviewed at, I would recommend something like this. I feel like it is casual, but also still looks semi-professional or, put together. This is just actually a plain black t-shirt and then a maroon cardigan. I actually have worn this to an interview before, just with some black pants and some black flats, and that's what I've worn to an interview. That's just my recommendation. Obviously, it depends on where your interview is, your personal style as well. But if you kind of wanted a general recommendation for what to wear to your interview, I also wanted to give you that little bit of advice. Also with jewelry, I would keep it fairly minimal. Just once again, my personal recommendation. I mean, you might see these earrings and think that that's not minimal at all, but for jewelry, I'm only wearing my earrings and then this ring, which I think is beautiful. Don't mind my knuckles. I just applied a self-tanner last night. If you want to see how I created this look as well as get tips along the way for your job interview, make sure you keep on watching. Normally I start with my eye makeup, but today's look is going to be a very natural look all over, and that includes a very natural eye look as well. So I'm going to start with my face makeup. The primer that I'm currently using is this Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and I like this because it does give you a little bit of a glow, kind of makes your skin look healthy, which is what you want in a job interview. Obviously, it's not overly thick, and I think it pairs nicely with the foundation that I'm using at the moment. I did moisturize my skin before I started filming this, just as a clarification. And to reduce my under eye circles, I'm going to be using the Dr. Brandt Needles No More Eye Depuffing Gel. While I'm giving that time to sink into my skin, going to go ahead and mix my two foundation shades. This is the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. I have the shades 20NN and 30NN, and I just mix the two to have a more natural look. Whenever it comes to foundation for a job interview, obviously I would do what you're most comfortable with. If you're more comfortable with a BB cream, something lighter coverage such as a BB cream, go ahead and use that. This is just my current favorite foundation, and I would feel comfortable with this, so I am, obviously going to be using this one. This is a fuller coverage foundation, just to let you know, but like I said, personally, I do like this. Nothing new here. This is the foundation brush from the Ulta brand. 8 brushes for Ulta, that's what I'm looking for. It's always important to make sure that your foundation is blended, but I feel like it's extra important to make sure that it is blended well for a job interview, just to really put your best foot forward. Of course, I'm going to cover up my under eye circles with the Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the shade 16N Fair Light Neutral. The products that I use in this video will be linked in the description box below, as long as I can find them. I know I've said this several times, but I can't believe how good of a job that the Tarte Shape Tape does with covering up my under eyes. Just does a great job. Highly, highly recommend it if you have dark under eye circles like I do. And my foundation already did a semi-decent job at covering up, especially this zit right here, but I'm going to go in with the Benefit Boing Concealer to cover that up even more. Before I go on to the next step, if you're getting value from this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Going to now go in with this Becca liquid highlight in the shade Moonstone. Make sure you do your liquid products before your powder products, just as a reminder. And I don't want to make this overly glam, but I don't know, I like doing a liquid highlight and then a powder highlight over top of it. In general, as I kind of mentioned as we started this tutorial, I would recommend going on the more natural side, but that's just, you know, my opinion. And also, it obviously depends on where your job interview is. If your job interview is at a makeup store like Ulta or Sephora, you might want to have a little bit more of a glam look, and I will link a video for you the eye up above for your recommendation for that. I'm going to bake my under eyes, this Makeup Revolution baking powder. Also, you might be thinking, well, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar or not, but I do not have a typical 9-to-5 job anymore, but I used to, well, it wasn't 9 to 5. But I did used to work in retail, so I have, you know, had job interviews before. So I do have experience. Just filled in my eyebrows and shaped them. And now I'm going to go in with contour. And I feel like this is an important step. Maybe it's just because I like contour in general. The contour that I'm going to be using, actually, I don't think I've used this on my channel before, but this is going to be the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It's a little bit more on the affordable end. But as I was saying, I think that contour is important just because it does give structure to your face. Obviously, it depends on, you know, the level of makeup that you normally wear, but I think that contour can really be a game changer and make you maybe look a little bit more put together for the job interview. I'm not saying that looks are everything, so I don't want to, you know, come across as that, but I just really recommend contour in general. This is the way that I contour. You don't have to contour. Ooh, okay. You don't have to contour your forehead, but I personally do. But if you just contour your cheekbones, I think that that is totally fine as well. This is the Sigma F23, by the way. I know I've used this several times in videos, but it's because it is such a great brush, and I especially recommend it. This will be linked in the description box down below as well if you want to check it out. I'm going to kind of, this is just a fluffy brush. I'm just going to kind of blend that a little bit more, especially along my forehead. Now for blush, I am going to use a Tarte blush. Once again, this is actually a little trial size. Unfortunately, I don't think you can find this specific shade, but I will link a very similar one in the description box down below. Before I go on to highlight and finish the rest of my face makeup, I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes with the Smashbox 24-hour shadow primer to give that time a little bit of time to dry down somewhat. We are going to be doing a natural look, but I still want to use eyeshadow primer. Now I'm going to wipe away that under eye powder that I kind of used to bake my under eyes. For highlight, I'm going to use the Sigma F25. I love this brush for highlighter. And I'm going to go back, oh, it shattered. I didn't know that it shattered. I haven't used this in a long time, but this is the Becca highlight in the shade Opal. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a very simple eyeshadow look, and I'm going to use this palette just because it has the shades that I use, but these are very basic colors, so I feel like you'll be able to find them in other palettes if you don't have this specific one, but I'm just going to be using this as the transition shade, this top middle one, and then this as my all over lid shade. It's very close to my natural skin tone. And while I am doing my eyeshadow look, I kind of want to give you some encouragement if you are nervous for your job interview, because I know I was definitely nervous for my job interviews. I have anxiety, which I've spoken about in the past, and I would especially get anxiety with job interviews. Even if it was like for an entry-level job, I would still get anxiety about it. But if I can get through it, I know you can get through it. That's my little encouragement. Also, feel free to skip eyeshadow altogether. I just personally really love eyeshadow, and this is going to be a very natural look, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do eyeshadow if you don't want to. This is a Crown shader brush all over my lid, and as you can see, it's like basically the color of my eyelids, but it kind of smooths out my eyelid a little bit. If I had a fluffy blending brush, that'd be great, but I don't feel like getting up to get one. So I'm just gonna kind of clean off this brush a little bit and blend a little bit more to make this a little bit more blended. Now going to set my face. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I'm going to do mascara and then I'll be right back. Once again, the mascara that I used was the Smashbox Superfan mascara, and then I also layered that with the Lancome Monsieur Big. For lips, you could just leave it with lip balm like I have if you want to go very, very natural, but if you want just a little something but still looks natural, I recommend filling in your lips with this lip liner. This is the Tarte lip liner in the shade Latergram. I recommend, lining them and then filling it in. Okay, this lip liner turned out a little bit more intense than I was planning on it, but I'm not mad about it. I still think that this is a fairly natural look overall. I wish you well on your job interview. If you liked this video, I recommend watching this one right here. And once again, I upload beauty videos every Monday and Friday. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.